So yesterday I was just trying to show you how exactly your Python will try to allocate the memory within the application's namespace, and that particular address is tagged or it is mapped to your variable name. Are you catching the point? Be very, very clear about that. Therefore, whenever you are giving a new value, whether it's a new value or it's basically a new value of new data type or previous data type, Python always recognizes that. Now here you may get one question like, so if suppose say like, instead of giving this value as something like a floating point value, if I give this value as 2345 as an integer, what happens? Python will utilizes the same memory. The previous memory will be overwritten. Am I clear with you? Only when the corresponding data type of the value is changing, keeping the variable name as it is, Python is dereferencing the previous memory location, allocating a new memory location, and its address will be associated to the same variable name, whatever you're having. So the things are not complicated, but we need to just have an idea. Now, whenever you start working with your Python, we have something that's fundamentally called as multiple assignments in Python. Generally, these kind of assignments in your normal programming languages are called as cascading style. Okay, we can go for cascading style of variable declarations. So what I fundamentally mean is, say like if you're working in any other languages, okay, just let us watch here. Say like in languages like C, C++, Java, anything else. Okay. Now we have something called as cascading style here also. Means I can say int of A is assigned as, B is assigned as, C is assigned as 10. Can I do that? Can I do that in my languages like C, C++, and Java? Hello. So we can definitely do this kind of declarations when we are working with the construct and composition of your languages like C, C++, and Java. We call this as cascading style. Now here what is happening? 3 memory locations are independently created and 3 independent addresses are allocated, and technologically you're always working with the construct and composition of 3 individual values assigned. So try to understand the construct what we are fundamentally picking up. But when you're coming with this say the normal style of your fundamental allocations in other language, so this is practically okay, we can just say, but when you're going for multiple assignments, what's happening in Python? It's a very beautiful composition by Python. Okay, you just come along with me. So I just want you to so that's my Python applications namespace. Okay, now let us say like as a programmer, you're doing your basic declarations. So I'm just trying to say employee number is assigned as EMP salary is assigned as, EMP department number is assigned as 0. This is the kind of declaration what I did in my program. Are you getting me? Now, what exactly is happening in your corresponding state of Python, you should understand now. Now, when you deal with your Python, what it does is, check very carefully. It is allocating one memory location and then it's keeping 0 there. Am I clear with you? Now, within your particular programming space, means where you are actually writing the program, there what is happening, you just need to understand. So that's employee number individually declared. Now this becomes your empsal and this becomes your employee department. Okay. But it's first time allocating, first time when you're declaring and your allocations are done, this is what is fundamentally happening. Be very, very clear about that. So if you are looking into this composition very carefully, you can always come to one conclusion. So if you are just concentrating, all three are looking towards the same memory location. So is it not saving your memory space here? So try to understand these constructs very carefully. Therefore, what is happening in languages like C or C++ or Java? Three independent memory locations with three independent values that are loaded. So now you may have your own doubt. Sir, later on, if I am doing only one single change in my variable, what happens? That variable will be dereferenced from the existing memory location and goes to another memory location. So when second time means when you're doing any second time assignment of the process, it automatically knows how to dereference the criteria and then start working out with it. Am I clear with you? So the architecture has very clear clarity how it has to manage that particular piece of the dereferencing to another data type. If you are moving off to any another data type, it always has that particular ability. Do try to understand that construct. Am I clear with you? So there is nothing like it's too complicated and practically different men. Even Java like environments, they are working to the similar kind of styles by using a reference and a stack concept. Be very, very clear about that. Therefore, for a person who is working with Python for the first time, declaring the variables is not a difficult aspect, but understanding its internal architecture makes a fundamentally very big lot of difference. Try to understand these constructs very carefully. Now, just to keep you convenient, I'll take you to the another level. Okay, just one more level. Select this is one memory location what we are having for our first level allocation, let us say. Okay, now this is my cascading allocation what I've done. Okay, when I did my cascading allocation, I just wanted to catch up. Okay, this is what is the first level inferencing. Okay. Now, what is the guarantee that these all variables always will have the same value? Variable can change with the value. Do you agree with me? Suppose say like after some time what I did is, in my requirement that was arising, I said that employees department number is 10. Okay, I said employees the department number is 10. Now this is a reassignment. Do you agree with me? Now because this variable is individually changing, immediately this change once it takes place and this variable is independently changing its criteria, it goes for allocation. Okay, some new address. Okay, some new address is taken. The value of 10 is implemented. Only that single variable will be referencing to the new address, automatically losing reference from that location. Am I clear? So you need to just understand that criteria. So the moment you have done this, this is absolutely having clarity how exactly it should make a dereference to that location and shift to new area. The remaining two variables will be looking towards that location. Are you getting me? So a very wonderfully managed architecture internally by itself. What I just try to say is you need to have a clarity on what exactly is the construct with which Python manages all these compositions. So whether it is 10 variables or 1000 variables, this referencing architecture should be very clear to you. Are you clear with the constructs or any confusion? Come on. Are the things are clear or any fundamental confusions? So when we say some point in the criteria, technically we cannot understand that unless and until we pick up the visualization for that. Am I clear with you? So I don't think when you're dealing with your Python with basic variable declarations, you need to really take any criteria of complications on the process. It's a strategy of understanding and working when we're very clear about that. So Python knows how to handle the overall show. So let me say like at a point of time, these two variables are hanging on this memory location. Yes or no? Am I clear? Now say like by some requirement, your department number becomes 0 once again. By the time if this object is available, make my point very clear. By the time if that object is available, Python goes back to that address automatically. If suppose it became 10 once again, By the time that object location called as 10 is existing, it comes back to that location once again. Means the garbage collector should not eliminate this. If it is eliminating, you can't do anything. Am I clear with you? So if that location is available, it automatically operates to that location. You don't need to worry. So internal memory management is done in a very wonderful way by Python. Very clear. So at the operational level, each variable is having its own individual instance. Are you getting me? Am I clear to you? So you should always understand that Python, whenever it is operating through the process, okay, that's your operational space. In operational space, every variable is having its own criteria of memory allocation. Are you getting me? But in the application space, it is doing a greater of difference in the process of its implementation. Will you remember these things? Come on. Am I clear with you? So beautifully arranged, perfectly organized memory management system. So even if you don't declare your data types, it's giving you such a wonderful services. Means you should understand the way the abilities are developed by these inventors. So deep into the architecture, if you don't go, what happens at some stages you can't understand, when especially say like you're learning some very critical things like implementing data structures using Python and all those things. It's done, it's gone. So if suppose same values are coming for these individual variables later on, by that time if this memory space is available, they reflect back. Means referencing to the previous memory location depends on whether it has been cleared by the garbage collector or not. Okay. Am I clear to you? So you need to always understand that. So individual declarations to the multi-variable declaration methodology is very different. Therefore, if we go for individual variable declarations, what happens? You'll be having individual locations. Are you catching the point? That's fundamentally common sense to understand. Okay, if suppose this declaration what we are trying to see is exactly same as what we have been discussing in the first level diagram, then I don't think I'll waste my time today discussing on this particular concept. If suppose like the individual declarations too, this is same. I don't think I'll spend my time on this. So by basic common sense, try to understand. Got it? So that's one criteria before you try to declare any variables and you start operating with your variables as far as your Python is concerned. Actually, looking into that level of the select concept and working out is waste of time. But at some stage, because you're going to look, see, majority of the people are doing Python, they always keep their focus in such a way that they want to go into areas like machine learning and all those things. So when you get into those specifications, I do not want you to have a constructively bad experience. So now you can just write your programs the way you want now. I just leave it to you, okay? So how you write your code, that all depends on your ability of your own analysis. So just watch carefully. I'm working with my construct. I'm saying I want to keep my first name. And now I want to collect the data at runtime. So you can directly call your input method. And then you can always say, so input is a method, or you can say it's a function that can optionally take the prompt. Prompt is not compulsory. You can even call input like this. But when you call input like that, your variable will be just blinking there. You don't get any idea like what you have to give. So prompt is only your facility and choice. Now we can either declare this criteria by even going with a first name individually declared like this, by saying is assigned as something like none, and then assign that to this input. Now technically, when I know that I'm going to collect my data directly from my input console, and my input console method always have the ability to return the data to the corresponding variable, then technically I don't think I need to really do that extra additional instruction. Are you catching my point? Now, if I'm just going with my other level of the variables I need, now I'm just trying to say this is my middle name, this is my last name. I'm saying that's middle name, that's my last name. Now, once your data has been captured, then I'm saying print \n, and I'm saying printing the input details. Then I'm saying print the given first name is. Now there are different kinds of constructs through which we can do, man. Okay, I'll just show you everything. I can keep a comma saying that I'm giving the next level of the argument, and I can always call my variables directly after that particular comma. And then I'm saying end is assigned as \n. Now here I'm just trying to say given middle name is given last name is. Then we are going with the construct of printing the full name now. I'm just trying to pick up my, then I'm saying print I'm calling my first name. I just want to watch out very carefully. Comma, middle name, and then I'm saying last name. Okay, now I'm just trying to say so this I'm always trying to keep only to say that after my print is executed, I want a new line as additional line. Okay. So that is my style of declaring. Be very clear about that. So if I don't keep this end, what happens? Nothing. Print always takes you to the new line, but I want some additional new line. So I'm just thinking of it. Okay. That's one style what I generally follow to keep the things clear. So if everything went very well, now I think it's time to save it. So you're just going with the construct. So now I'm just giving my name. So you can just watch very carefully this comma as a delimiter. When I'm using as multiple number of parameters I'm having, it is automatically giving me one space. I think I was discussing these things in my previous class. So you need to just understand these criterias. Anil, I think you are not listening to my previous classes properly, man. I gave you examples, separator and end together in my previous cases itself. Follow the sessions, follow the sessions. Are you clear? Your variable declarations and inputs. Now here there are few things I just wanted to keep it in your mind always. Okay. Okay. Just few things I want to keep it in your mind always. The first point is here we are directly scanning data from the input console into the immediately declared and assigned variable. Okay, immediately declared and assigned variable. These are all immediately declared and assigned variables. Am I clear with you? The second point, the input function is scanning the input data from the standard input console, that is keyboard. Okay, am I clear with you? Third one, the input function is passed with a parameter, or I'll say with an argument. Okay, with an argument as prompt for end users readability, which is actually optional. Okay, the fourth point, the input function will scan data from the console by default as string object. Hence, we are not using any immediate typecasting of the value assigned to the variable. Okay, these are all things you should always remember. See, if I'm spending my time on certain things like this, it clearly indicates that in the coming classes I'm not going to give any details of these things. Be very clear about that. 5, the variable to which we are assigning the data through the return value of the input function will decide the actual data type dynamically associated with the variable. In this case, the variable automatically gets allocated as string. Okay, clear? The fifth point, so sixth point, when printing data using the print function, every argument of output should be separated and delimited by comma, where the output values will be automatically applied with one space in presentation. So these are the fundamental things you should always keep it in your mind when you're working through the process. Trust me, all these details, your Python documentations will not speak with you. Manjunath, I think you can do those experiments and you can check. I hope so, man. I'm giving you the code. Now, removing this and experimenting, I think it's basically a very simple thing what any person learning programming language can do. Do it. Am I stopping you? That is my style, I said. Okay, I very clearly say that that is my style of working. So I am habituated to use that particular end at my end of the application. Okay, so just check out, execute. You'll know the differences, how the outputs are coming. When the outputs are coming, if you remove that end, what happens? If you keep that end, what happens? You can see those things start doing from your side. So are these points are clear to you? So I don't think anywhere we are putting the pressure on this input that it should definitely try to go with a specific data type. Now, just for your convenience, I'm showing you, actually it's not essential. If suppose like it's second version of Python, just one single program, I'll just try to show you this. Okay. If it is one single, so like you're going with your second version of Python by luck, maybe your project is having second version. In such cases, no confusions, man. Okay. This input, what you're having here, I'm not having second version installed on my machine, but I'm just trying to show you this input, what you're having here, you'll keep it as raw inputs. Are you getting me? Now, these prints, whatever you're having with you, which are having brackets, you're just trying to remove those fundamental brackets by keeping a space after that. Are you getting me? And then technologically, you're fundamentally eliminating that construct of the end and you're closing down through the criteria like this. Now you want additional backslash n's, means as I kept my backslash n's here, the same backslash n's you also want with a new line once again, then you should give it as a separate argument like this. Am I clear with you? Okay, you have to give like a separate argument here. Do try to keep these points very clear when you're working with the older version. This is only for information's sake, because this is a year where Python 2 was stopped with its support. So there are many number of projects that are going in the market, for second to third version conversion projects are happening. So technically, if you encounter any project where second to third version conversions are taking place, then just start working out on the construct. Okay. So that's your criterion composition of your raw input with your print. So in second version, you don't have print with brackets and all those things. Can you remember this? Just for your information sake, I'll save it and I'll push it to you when I'm sharing my scripts. And one very important point is any program, if I write this note, that will be in association to that particular program only when, okay? So program to program will be just looking into the basic compositions and will be working out. So try to understand these constructs very carefully, okay? Here I should have brackets, okay? Input should take brackets. Sorry, okay, that I should correct. So every time I'm not going to show you second and third version simultaneously, man, okay? We'll be working on only third version implementations, but practically you need to just understand the difference, that's it, okay? That's one time process, that's just one time process. Can you handle that show? So now it just makes a difference of how exactly you plan, you execute, you move on. Like, suppose say like, I'm taking this just for your convenience, okay? I'm enhancing my particular code. Let us say after this last name, I'm saying in age, okay? In age is assigned as input, and I'm just trying to say \n. Please enter your current age. Okay, then I'm saying in height is assigned as input. Please enter your height. Actually, in these two cases, I'm going to scan my numbers and I'm going to scan my strings. Tell me, by general declarations, we'll generally scan the numbers, but input is by default scanning everything as what? As string. Now just don't worry about certain things. Now I want to concentrate on those cases, okay? Now this will give me a full name. I'll remove this. That gives you a full name. Then I'm just trying to say print the current age of is I'm calling it directly in age, okay? Years. And just to get additional new line, okay? I want to get one additional new line. So I'm fundamentally going with this. Then after that, I'm just trying to say the height of in height. I would say centimeters. I'm working out, okay? Now here, my practicality is I'm taking the data in the form of, I'm giving the data in the form of numbers, but scanning the as strings, and I'm expecting the data to be presented here in my fundamental output. Okay, so just watch here. I'm saying 3. It's asking your age, you're saying 45. Then I'm just trying to say In centimeters, we are saying 153.25. Okay. So did we have any problem in presenting my numbers in this case? Did I had any problem in presenting my numbers? So generally, when we are working in, we should definitely convert every number into its data type is not a rule. If you don't convert, default is string. Are you getting me? So, but if I want to treat it as a number, what I should do? We'll be going with the constructs of type conversions. But one thing is very clear. In Python, we don't declare a data type. Whatever value we give, taking that value, it decides the data type of this particular variable. If we don't even give any data type, but if we give numbers, for you it is a number, but input is converting that into a string only. So what is the proof? In my coming classes, I'll show you. But at this stage, you have to catch up through the constructs. Are you catching the point? Therefore, in my first program, if I have written any rules, and these rules are applicably same, in my next levels, I may not be writing it. I'm telling you. Therefore, you skip some programs and you work with another program. You have lost the connectivity. Throughout my course, it will be happening like that. So the ability of thinking like an expert is only in your hands. Wherever I'm moving down, I'll go on adding up through the constructs and I'll be going on making the things in a better way. Clear? So I did not trouble you with any complications today, man. Very simple compositions of declaring your variables and accepting the data. Now, please put your hands on your keyboards and work, especially for those students who have not yet started your practice very seriously till now. And you're thinking that let me do it tomorrow, let me do it tomorrow. By the time you think it's tomorrow, I'll one day say like the course is completed. And in between the course, never I will encourage anybody if they have not been working from their side. Be very sure about it. Okay. So your job is what? The moment the class gets completed, have your breakfast, sit, start practicing till you feel you're comfortable on the process. Within the next 24 hours, I'm ready with my extensions on the process once again. So anyhow, we kick-started the process. We'll cross-verify the things very slowly. Let us not worry. In the current level, the way I'm writing the code, you just write, recollect the instructions I gave you. You'll be getting multiple number of doubts to this, like I can do like this, I can do like that. And few of your friends will always confuse you. You can even do like this. Don't worry, man. We will be definitely a best programmer than the other person who is working along with us. That's only the time that will tell you. Don't get exaggerated and excited. Okay, we'll slowly build up the process. So as we promised, we are definitely going with the demo sessions with human. I think one more demo is left for us. So people who are seriously thinking of shaking hands with us, now it's time you speak with Srinivas, and then you please see that you're confirming your seat in the criteria, man. Okay. So for anything, please see that you're absolutely putting your message. You're putting your message on this particular number that I'm keeping in your chat box. So just WhatsApp. You just WhatsApp your concern, whether you really want to be with us or not. Okay. So if I'm looking comfortable to you, you can just continue with us. And tomorrow also we'll be having a session that is fundamentally shared to you on the demo. And after that, only students who are shaking hands with us, we'll be sharing the link with them. So WhatsApp on this number. Okay. and you will be having your previous videos shared into your Google Drive, Isman, and from there you can be accessing your videos every day. Now the next part of the videos will never come into the YouTube channel. Anyhow, we have one more session to speak with one another. Thank you very much. Once again with you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself.